All right, man. Man, check this out, man. So, I know a lot of people been talking about the SWAC. Majority of the time, it's been about Jackson State this year, right? But there's an HBCU team that just really don't get the attention that they deserve. But so, I do want to talk about Bowie State for a little bit, right? So, they're 7-1 right now. They're in top 10 in Division II in the country. Top 10. For a while now, they've been one of the best teams in the nation for a while now, and they kind of have a little dynasty going, right? So I don't know if you guys know this, right? So back in 2010, when Winston-Salem State first came back to the CIAA, they actually moved down from the MEAC, and those first, like, from 2011 to 2015 to 16, I mean, straight pure dominance. They actually won 4 CIAA championships in those 6 years. So, and in 2012, well, matter of fact, in 2011, they finished the regular season undefeated. They won the CIAA, and then they lost in the first round of the playoffs. Right? In 2012, they actually made it to the national championship and lost against Valdosta State. So between 2000 and until 2014, they finished in the top 25 between 2011 and 14. Now, it has been a dwindle off in talent since then, but they always been solid. They always been pretty solid. So in 2015, that's when Bowie State started their trend off in becoming a real good team. Like, from 2015 to 2019, they've been in the CIAA championship game outside of 2017. And they won it the last 2 years. So Bowie State really came like from the mud and really recruited themselves, and they started to generate a really good team. Now, with the Winston-Salem State situation, you can say that it's a byproduct of them being in Division I. So they already had a head start in talent. So that's why in 2011, 2012, they were just so powerful and dominant. They had a chance to really, they were really special that year in Division II. But with Bowie State, this team's different too. Now, I don't know too many NFL players that came from that Winston-Salem State dynasty, but I know with this Bowie State team, bruh, Jonathan Ross, Joshua Pryor, Dimitri Marshall, I think all 3 of those guys could be NFL players someday. Dimitri was actually in All-American. He became an All-American. He won CIAA Defensive Player of the Year, and he has the NFL spotlight on him. Joshua Pryor has been dominant from the door, and he's honestly one of the players that I believe that could be drafted. I don't know about Dimitri as much. I think he could be a free agent signing, but I hope he does get drafted too. But Joshua Pryor, he looks like a player that could be drafted. So, with them being in the top 10 in ranking, with them having the team that they have, I think this team is probably the best HBCU team that Division II has seen since that 2012 Winston-Salem State team. Look, let's talk about their season. They lost one game, and that was against Delaware State. They lost by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They won, me personally, if it has not been for the 4 turnovers that Jeremiah Johnson threw, that game probably could have went another way, right? Because I think they had 5 turnovers in that game, and they still only lost by single digits. So, and they actually won the second half 21-6. So Bowie State offensively can score some points. Now, I don't know if a lot of people pay attention to the CIAA, but I do because, look, I'm a byproduct of it, right? So, before Shawan and Bowie State face off, Shawan averaged 50 points a game. Bruce Witt was averaging almost 400 passing yards a game. He already had almost 30 touchdowns in like 6 games, in like 5 or 6 games. And their offense, they had 2 receivers who already had over 400 yards receiving. They had a receiver who already had 8 touchdown catches, right? So when they faced off, they completely shut it down. They only scored 7 points the entire game. So I already knew that Bowie State would win that game. I just didn't know how they would do it because they're nationally ranked defensively as well. So Bowie State could really make some noise in the nation and could do something that hasn't been done since 2012, and that be an HBCU team make it to the national championship game. And that could speak volumes, especially from where we're at today when it comes to the support of HBCU sports, period. With Chris Paul getting more involved in HBCUs, with all professional athletes and entertainers wearing HBCU clothing. This will be a real good opportunity for Bowie State to really make some noise this year in the playoffs and really do something. I think Jeremiah Johnson, he may win Offensive Player of the Year this year. If not Bruce Witt out of Shawan. But that Bowie State defense is tough, man. That defense is tough. Now, I know Virginia Union had himself a good game on them, but, man, Bowie State is tough this year, man, and I'm super proud of them for where they are because I know when I played for Livingstone, we always had a hard time against them. Always. They always been a decent team. They had 4 wins here, 5 wins here, 6 wins here, and it wasn't until 2015 where they started getting into the 7 and 8 win seasons. So this team can definitely make some noise in the Division II playoffs, and I give them a real good chance to make the national championship. But I know Ferris State and Valdosta State, they could be waiting too, but I'm super proud of them. I hope that they make it that far, and we'll see what happens, man. But, man, a team from the CIAA, it could be twice. That's crazy.